Good morning, Providence. I apologize for my tardiness this morning. It's so good to see you. Good to hear the energy in the church this morning. If you think I'm happy about it, God's just extremely happy. He's glad that His people are listening. His people are coming to church. You know, usually after Easter, we'll talk a little bit more. He kind of falls off for next week. But I'm excited to see who we've got here this morning already and get ready to begin worship again and learn more about our God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So thank you so much for being here this morning. Brother Bob, come get your word in prayer.
Dear Lord, thank you for such a wonderful day, Lord. And Lord, thank you for last weekend, Lord. We celebrated one of our worst days in humankind. But Lord, most of all, we celebrated one of the best days in humankind. We celebrated the death of our wonderful Savior Jesus Christ, who was crucified and bore us on the cross, Lord. But thank God, Lord, on the third day He rose again and promised us salvation through His blood. Eternal life, Lord. Romans 18:8 says, we don't know what's in heaven until we get there. It's so wonderful and so great, Lord. And I hope each and every person in the church is born and saved, except Jesus Christ as the perfect Savior. So when that day comes, we can enjoy eternal life, guaranteed to us through the blood of Jesus. All these things we ask for, pray for in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brother.
Amen. All of you who are doing that Bible study for me, I'll have some new ones next week. It's been busy since Christmas, but I'll have new ones next week.
It has been busy since Christmas. Here we've got to roll into May already. Where's the time going? All right, birthdays and anniversaries this past week. Anniversary last Sunday. Well, I guess I need to step up to a week before because we didn't do this last week because of the Easter services we had. Go ahead. Nathan Martin, April 20th. Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Turdick had an anniversary. Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Flake had an anniversary. Ms. Daisy Hooker and Mr. Stephen Monroe. So, Nathan, how you doing? You want to come up here so we can say happy birthday to you? We didn't get to do this last week. It doesn't look that way today, so I thank you, and I know God thanks you for being here today. But anytime there's something exciting going on, people want to be involved in it. Or if it's fresh in your mind, you know, you're excited about it. But as the days go on, you kind of, the memory fades. So you kind of lose that fire. That's what we got to be careful of as Christians. We just had Easter. And we as Christians and those that accepted Christ understand completely what Easter meant. The defeating of Satan and death to continue to live the promises and show us the promises that God has in His book. And you think about it, so you think of that miracle of Jesus defeating death. Then he walks around for 40 more days on earth, and he's seen again, he's proving that he's alive, and he's still doing some miracles along the way. Of course, his last, as far as in his human days, where he ascends to heaven. He goes and joins the Father. But did God do any miracles after that? Sure he did. Sure he did. If we look around, we see them. They happen all the time. Got to kind of be in tune with God a little bit, though, to see these miracles sometimes. Right? For the most part, that's true, but not necessarily. Because there's lost people that see what happens to other people's lives, and they start to put it together. You know, God is still in control. He's still in control. We don't hear the stories, you know, unless you're in your Bible and you read the historical context of it. Those that are lost, they don't see that part of it. But they see things happen. They know who's doing it. They might not want to acknowledge it at the time, but they know who's doing it. So I just want to read real quick something I came across and continue to talk about God's miracles, because I have a cousin who started God's gospel ministry. And they go around and they do a lot of street preaching. He comes into churches and people are interested. He trains them up. He brings them in. But one of the main things they do is they go like big events, Super Bowls, big races, big events. There's a lot of people. And they preach on the corners. And they catch some abuse, as you could only imagine. But they're dedicated to God. They're dedicated to His Word. They continue to preach. When they don't have these big events, one of their main things they do is they go to abortion clinics. And they stand down the road. They can only get so close. They're preaching to people. They're coming in. Pastor Kimball, he was preaching last week about, you know, seeing the people going back and forth to the lake. And when he was young, he was standing there with his Bible, shaking around. That's basically what they have to do because they can't get close enough. But it does your heart good as a Christian when you hear reports back from him, when he lets people know. Like yesterday, for example, 2 young ladies changed their mind. Amen. Decided to keep their child. They came back out. A couple weeks ago, they were talking to a lady before she went in. She comes back out and she says, "Thank you. I came here today to kill my child, but I'm taking it back home. Because you were willing to listen to what God wanted you to do, and you were out here in this corner, you were sharing His message with me, and you talked, showed me what God's love is, and why can't I share it with my child?" God works miracles every day. There's also some miracles that happened during the crucifixion, and of course, as we know, right at the death. Of course, we know that grace changes everything. It's what worked for us, right? God showed His grace to us, and we understood it, and we felt it, and God spoke in our heart. We accepted Christ. Grace continues to look after us today if we continue to be in tune and be in touch with God. The Bible records 4 catastrophic physical events that occurred when Jesus was dying on the cross. The first, of course, was 3 hours of eerie darkness that covered the land from noon until 3 o'clock. You imagine in the day if something would happen, all of a sudden the sun would go out at 12, and we're in complete darkness until 3 p.m. We'd be scared out of our minds. But this is what happened when Jesus was hanging on the cross. The second occurred in the temple, when the veil of the temple that separated the Holy of Holies from the holy place was torn from top to bottom. When Jesus cried, "It is finished." Redemption's price had been paid in full. There was no other sacrifice needed to make atonement for the sins of men. No need for the old sacrificial system. No need for a high priest to make confession. Jesus is our high priest. And He paid for our redemption on the cross with His own sacrifice, as we celebrated last week. Now anyone can approach the throne of God boldly through Christ. Amazing. What a miracle. Grace changes everything. It would be a new covenant in His blood shed for the remission of sins. Of course, the third catastrophic event was an earthquake that happened around the same time. The rock split apart, and the Bible records a final 4th miracle. The bodies of holy people were raised from the graves and would appear in Jerusalem to many followers after Jesus' resurrection. Matthew 27:50-53 says, "Then Jesus shouted out again, and He released His Spirit. At that moment, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, rocks split apart, tombs opened. The bodies of many godly men and women who had died were raised from the dead. They left the cemetery after Jesus' resurrection, went into the holy city of Jerusalem, and appeared to many people. Could you imagine? God was continuing working those miracles. Imagine a loved one coming up to you and saying, I'm going to be okay. Jesus just paid the price. I'm going to heaven. God, can you imagine? Imagine how fired up everybody was getting, or should be getting, right? Let's be like catching those fish again, man. This is exciting. Man, what is going on? Yeah, I'm a little scared, but man, God has put a peace over me that's got me excited. There is hope. He's been telling us this whole time, and everything's been true. I'm glad I was faithful to him. Imagine being the groundskeeper at that cemetery, however. Beyond these events, there are two more supernatural expressions of the power of grace. Luke records both. In Luke 23, 47, 48, he says, when the Roman officer overseeing the execution saw that what had happened, he worshipped God and said, surely this man was innocent. And when all the crowd that came to see the crucifixion saw what had happened, they went home in deep sorrow. We messed up. Jesus was right. He is the Son of God. We've killed the Son of God. We have messed up. Remember, these were the very words we had previously been making fun of Jesus, mocking him, laughing at him, yelling things at him, throwing things at him. They spat on him, just cruelly celebrating the merciless abuse the Roman soldiers were inflicting on him. These were the soldiers who gambled for his clothing as he offered them forgiveness. What happened? For 6 hours they had seen and heard all that was happening while Jesus was dying on that cross. The soldiers in the crowd were deeply moved with what they saw. His death did what even his life could not do. It broke the hard hearts of men. Already Jesus' saying was coming true. John 12:32. But I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself. Grace changes everything. So may we not lose that fire that we felt last week as we heard the Easter story and the resurrection again. Because it fires up, it stirs your soul. Don't lose that as the days go by. Every day can be that way. All we have to do is thank Jesus that way every day. And thank him for what he did for us. And just pray, pray, and pray. And thank him so much for the grace that he showed each and every one of us as his followers. Thank you. With that, you dismiss your class.